England career?
Yeah, I want to try and keep the shirt and play in England for many years. And I feel like as a team, we can go much further than what we have in the past. And yeah, I feel really confident the way we're going and the players that we've got. So yeah, we need to start winning tournaments, and I'm hoping in the future we can do that.
And just to follow up on that, I mean, obviously, normally playing Iceland as the press, we would be talking to England players a lot about the previous failure of losing to Iceland. But obviously, most of you weren't involved in that, and England have moved on an awful lot from that. Is there any? Do you have any feeling of fear or anxiety or pressure coming into this England camp, as we've maybe experienced in the past, that those failures have tainted us in the past?
No, we're a young team, and nothing phases us. We just go out and play our football, and I think that that's a good thing, because we don't think too much, and yeah, we can start controlling games now because we've got the players for that. And yeah, I'm just really confident for the future, and yeah, it's going to be good to see what England can do.
Cool.
Thanks, Matt. Next, we'll go to John Cross from the Mirror.
Hello, Phil. Thanks so much for doing this. Much appreciated. I was just going to ask you, we've probably been guilty of it as much as anyone, but, we've probably been building you up as a player, as someone different for England, to give something a little bit different in midfield. How do you sort of kind of cope with that kind of level of expectation? That basically it doesn't weigh too heavily on your shoulders when you do get called up as you have been now.
Yeah, I try not to read too much into it. I just trying to keep doing what I do and trying to play my football. And yeah, if people like that, they like it, and if they don't, they don't. So yeah, I just try and come into the team and just do what I do at my club and just play my football, and yeah, and see where it goes.
I think you were asked before just about kind of who you visualised on and who you sort of kind of watched and admired, but was there a player, or is there a player that you still kind of watch a lot of videos on, watch a lot of YouTube on, that kind of you enjoy watching and maybe model yourself on a little bit?
Probably just David Silva. I liked him ever since he came to the club, and yeah, I got to watch him live, in training. So that's probably the player that I looked up to most and tried to learn from. So yeah, I'm just sad that he's gone now, but yeah, hopefully he'll be back as a coach or something one day. Hopefully.
He must have been the ultimate teacher.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Next, we'll go to Paul Joyce from the Times. Paul, are you there?
Yeah, sorry. Phil, you spoke then about winning with England. Is that easier for you to visualise because you won the Under-17s World Cup? And what memories do you have of that tournament? Do you still look at your medal? Is your medal out in your home, or do you watch the video from time to time?
Yeah, the medal's still in my cabinet at home. If you win youth tournaments when you're younger, it can give you the experience to go and win one in the first team. So I feel like the World Cup definitely helped me to play on a big stage and, not feel the pressure as much. So yeah, I played many big games at Man City now, and yeah, I've learned to cope with the fans and the pressure. So yeah, I feel like definitely it helps you.
It's easy to visualise with the senior team because you've won it with the
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks, Paul. Next, Matt Dunn from The Express.
Hi, Phil. I think because we're all old duffers, we forget how short your football memory is and how short a time you've been on the planet. And you've been likened to players like Paul Gascoigne, who was Kettering town manager by the time you went to school. I mean, do you ever look back at these older players and watch what they used to do because you've heard, the likeness and all the rest of it? Does that interest you? Or do you just watch current players and what they do?
Yeah, sometimes I watch old players. Paul Gascoigne was obviously one of the best England players to ever play the game. So yeah, I feel like if they had the right coaches around them at the time, and if they played the right football, I feel like we could have won more trophies back in the day. So yeah, I feel like we're going in the right direction in terms of playing the right football and playing the right way. So yeah, I'm gonna be
In,
excited for the
in
future.
terms of looking for the tricks that they used to do or whatever, do you ever do any of that, or is it all just the modern players?
Sorry, what was that first bit?
In terms of the tricks that they used to do, the skills, is there anyone that you from the recent past or whatever that you still look at, or is it all just the modern players?
Mostly the modern players, to be honest. Yeah.
Thank you. Next, we'll go to Matt Reid. Thanks.
Hi, Phil. Every few years, a new generation of special players emerges, and at the moment, many of those players seem to be English. We have the likes of yourself, Jadon Sancho, and Mason Greenwood, who have been spoken about on a global level. Also, the likes of Kylian Mbappe and Erling Haaland as well. Who's the player that you are most impressed with as an emerging talent, and who you're watching most closely? And how does it feel that the strength of this youth group breaking through in England?
No, I definitely watched Jadon when he went to Dortmund, and to do what he did at such a young age. It's not many players that could have played at that high level and performed so well. So yeah, I definitely looked at what he was doing, and yeah, I was very impressed. And like you said, there's a lot of young players now playing at a high level, and yeah, it seems like every year younger players are playing more big games. So yeah, it's good to see young players getting the debuts and coming through. It just shows that the academies, they've got great coaches from young, teaching them the right things and helping them go on to play in the first team.
Thanks, Matt. Next, we'll go to Mark Irwin from The Sun. Mark, are you there?
Yes, sorry, I forgot to unmute myself.
No problem.
Sorry, Phil. We've been sort of hearing and reading about your career for so long now. It's almost seemed inevitable that you were going to end up playing for England. It's almost as if your career has been easy, but clearly it hasn't been easy for you to sort of get to this level. What sort of battles have you had to conquer to get to where you are now?
Yeah, when I was a younger age in the academy, I was a lot smaller than other players, so I had to use my brain more, and yeah, and then eventually I started growing, and when I made the step to the first team, it was just such a step up to youth team, and I had to adapt quickly, and yeah, so I've definitely tried to get in the gym as much more now, and try to get a lot bigger and stronger. So I'd probably say the biggest one was going into the first team, and trying to trying to adapt to the physical side. So yeah, that was the most challenging thing for me.
Can you sort of remember your first session with them? Was it sort of quite daunting to sort of be going in with these world superstars?
Yeah, definitely. I thought, wow, I'm a lot behind here. But as I trained for weeks, I started to get better and start moving the ball quicker. So yeah, I started learning much more quicker. So yeah.
Thanks, Mark. Matt Reid's come back in for one more, and this will be the last question.
So the longer you're around, the more opponents will learn about you. The more that opponents will adapt their games, and they'll be researching you with more footage for them to be viewing. What have you noticed about the change in the way that players face you and the respect that you're given on the pitch over the last year as you face bigger matches and bigger opponents?
For me, just personally.
Yeah, you personally, because obviously people now know about you more. Across when you play facing Real Madrid, their players will have research, which they can be looking at and looking into how you play.
Can you just ask me that again, please? Sorry, I didn't catch the first bit.
Okay. So the more you play, we often find that a player's first season, they'll go off in an amaze. And then after that first season, because there's more understanding of how that player plays, and because players have faced them before, they will adapt their game, and they'll have more research, and they'll be able to deal with that player more in a more informed kind of way. How have you noticed that's changed during your career over the last 18 months?
Well, yeah, I'm still quite young, and so yeah, if I feel like a player is reading me, I'm gonna obviously try to adapt and change my game. So I feel like I'm really good at that, at adapting my game style. Like I said before, I can play many positions. So yeah, it's nothing that I will fear. So yeah, I look forward to the challenge if that's going to happen. So yeah.
Thanks, Matt. His hand crept up just before the end, so I'm going to allow this one to be the last one. It's Dom King at the Mail. Dom.
Hi, Phil. It's just a simple one, really. Where do you keep your World Cup winners' medal? Do you look at it much? Is it back with your mum and dad? What do you do with it? Where is it?
Yeah, it's at my parents' house in the cabinet, and I go there a lot. So yeah, sometimes I walk past, just look at all the trophies I've won and medals, and just go through them. So yeah, it's nice to go back and see what I've won sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, is that your most cherished? Is that your most cherished medal?
Yeah, probably I'd say so. Yeah. As well as the Premier League.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks, Dom.
Thanks very much.
And thanks everybody for joining us today. That concludes this media conference.